Ever felt like your marriage is less of a love story and more of a battlefield? You're not alone. Picture this: the silent treatments, the explosive arguments over who forgot to take out the trash, the endless cycle of blame and resentment. It's exhausting, isn't it? But what if I told you that the ancient philosophy of Stoicism holds the key to transforming your marriage from a war zone into a sanctuary of peace and growth? Buckle up, because we're about to dive into why your marriage feels like a battle and how Stoicism can help you turn it around. Here's the hard truth. Most of us approach marriage all wrong. We treat it like a contract, a list of rules and expectations that the other person must follow, and when they don't, boom, conflict. But Stoics saw things differently. To them, marriage wasn't about control or demands. It was a daily choice to practice virtue, patience, and understanding. Think of it like tending a garden. You wouldn't yell at a plant for not growing fast enough, would you? No. You'd water it, give it sunlight, and be patient. Marriage works the same way. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Stoicism teaches us that the real battle isn't with our partner, it's with ourselves. Those heated arguments, they're often just masks for our own insecurities, fears, or unmet expectations. And the solution isn't to change your partner, good luck with that, but to change how you respond. Sound too simple? Stick with me. In just a few minutes, I'll show you the 3 Stoic practices that can flip the script on your marriage. But first, let's talk about why we're wired to fight in the first place. Ever notice how the smallest things, a dirty dish left out, a misunderstood text, can trigger a nuclear meltdown? That's your ego at work. Stoics called this the pathos, the unhealthy emotions that cloud our judgment. And here's the kicker: your marriage isn't the problem. It's the mirror reflecting the parts of yourself you haven't yet mastered. Scary thought, right? But also liberating. Because if the problem is internal, the solution is too. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 10 minutes, forget everything you think you know about marriage. Open your mind to the idea that conflict isn't a sign of failure, but an opportunity to grow together. Because by the end of this video, you will have a toolkit to stop the battles and start building a marriage that is not just enduring, but thriving. Ready to take the first step? So if marriage isn't a contract, what's this choice for virtue the Stoics keep talking about? Think of it like this. Every morning, you don't just wake up married, you wake up choosing to be married. And not just to a person, but to the best version of yourself within that marriage. Here's the twist. Virtue isn't some abstract ideal. It's the daily grind of patience when they leave dishes in the sink. Again, courage to have that awkward conversation, and wisdom to know when to let go. Ever notice how fights often start over tiny things? That's your ego hijacking the moment. Stoics call it pathos, the emotional noise clouding your judgment. The choice for virtue flips the script. Instead of reacting, you respond. Imagine your partner criticizes you, old you, defensive, stoic you. Pauses, asks, "Is this true? Can I grow from it?" That's the game changer. Here is how it works in real life. 1. Awareness. Spot the triggers. Eye rolls, tone of voice. 2. Pause. Breathe. Ask, what virtue does this moment need? 3. Act with intention. Choose kindness over sarcasm, understanding over blame. It's like emotional judo, using friction to grow stronger together. Why does this work? Because marriage isn't about changing your partner, it's about refining your character. Every conflict is a gym for your soul. And guess what? When you lead with virtue, something wild happens. Your partner often mirrors it. But here's the kicker. You do it, even if they don't. That's the Stoic secret. Control what you can, surrender the rest. Now let's unpack the 3 tools to make this second nature. Now let ES dive into the 4 Stoic virtues that can transform your marriage from a battleground to a gym for your soul. First up, wisdom. Imagine your partner leaves the dishes piled up again. Instead of reacting with frustration, wisdom asks, what's the most constructive response here? It's about seeing the bigger picture. Think of it as your mental GPS recalculating the best route, avoiding traffic jams of pointless arguments. Next, courage. Not just facing external threats, but the bravery to say I was wrong, or let's try your way. Picture a couple navigating financial stress. Courage means having tough conversations with calm honesty, not avoidance. Then, temperance. Ever felt that heat rising when your partner interrupts you? Temperance is the pause button before sarcasm escapes. It's like a thermostat, regulating emotional temperature before things boil over. Finally, justice, fairness in action. Not 50-50 splits, but giving 100% of what you owe to the relationship. For example, actively listening instead of just waiting for your turn to speak. Here's the kicker. These virtues aren't just tools, they're muscles. Weak at first? Absolutely. But every conflict is a chance to flex them, and when both of you train, that's when the magic happens. Ready for the next level? Let's talk about turning these virtues into habits so automatic they feel like second nature. Now that we've built those stoic muscles, let's put them to work in the heat of the moment. Picture this, dishes left in the sink again, voices rising, that familiar tightness in your chest. Here's the truth bomb. Conflicts aren't marriage killers. They're your training ground. The secret? What feels like an argument is actually two people trying to be heard. Sound familiar? We've all been there. Step 1. Press pause like a philosopher. When tempers flare, your first move is simple. Breathe. Imagine your anger as a boiling pot. You wouldn't grab it bare-handed, right? 3 deep breaths create space between stimulus and response. That's where your wisdom kicks in. Ancient remedy, modern results. Step 2. Seek the signal in the noise. Every complaint has an unmet need beneath it. When your partner says, "You never listen," they're really asking, "Do I matter to you?" Here's where courage shines. Ask clarifying questions instead of preparing defenses. Last week, Sarah thought Mark was criticizing her parenting until she asked, "What specifically worries you?" Boom, they uncovered a shared concern about screen time. Step 3. Fight the issue, not the person. This is where temperance transforms clashes. Use "I feel" statements instead of "you always" accusations. It's like playing chess against the problem together, not turning your spouse into the enemy. When tensions rise over finances, try "I feel anxious" when bills pile up. Can we explore solutions? Instead of "you're terrible with money." Step 4. Find the third door. Justice means seeking win-win outcomes. Stuck on where to vacation? Mountain lover meets beach enthusiast could discover lakeside cabins. The compromise nobody considered often becomes the best solution. Marcus Aurelius handled an empire this way. Surely we can manage date night decisions. Here's the game changer. Document your victories. Keep a stoic conflict journal. What triggered you, how you responded, what worked. Within months, you'll spot patterns showing real growth. That couple who used to explode over laundry, they're now troubleshooting problems before they escalate. That could be you. Next up, we'll reveal how to make these responses so automatic, you'll handle conflict like a Zen master before coffee. Now that we've built conflict resolution habits, let's automate them into daily stoic rituals. Here's how. First, create morning alignment minutes. 90 seconds where you and your partner share one intention for the day. Think of it like syncing your relationship GPS before the journey begins. A couple we coached does this while brewing coffee, turning a mundane task into connection. Second, implement emotional checkpoints at key transition times, after work, before bed. These aren't deep discussions, just 30-second temperature reads using stoic physics. How's your fire energy today? Need more water, space, air, ventilation, or earth, grounding? Finally, end each day with 3 victories. sharing where you each practiced virtue. Marcus Aurelius wrote his nightly reflections. Yours can be spoken aloud. The secret? These rituals work like cognitive behavioral therapy for your marriage, rewiring automatic responses. One wife reported her husband's classic defensive reactions disappeared within weeks after they ritualized evening appreciations. Want to supercharge this? Pair each practice with a physical anchor, a touch, a specific chair, even a shared object. That's Stoic behavioral conditioning in action. Next, you'll discover how to turn setbacks into fuel. But first, try just one of these today and watch what happens. Here is the truth most couples miss. Stoics don't just avoid conflict. They dodge the silent killer of relationships. What is it? Expecting love to run on autopilot. Picture this. You're brushing teeth side by side, but emotionally, you're miles apart. That's the trap. While rituals rewire reactions, like we saw earlier, the biggest mistake? Assuming I chose you once equals I choose you daily. Newsflash. Love isn't a vending machine where you insert vows and get endless connection. Marcus Aurelius nailed it. You've got to assemble your life yourself, action by action. Relationships thrive on micro choices, not macro promises. Here's the breakdown. First, trade obligation mode for curiosity mode. Instead of we should talk more, ask what surprised you today? A 7-word reset. Second, flip ownership into stewardship. Your partner isn't your masterpiece to mold, but a garden to tend. See the difference? Third, weaponize friction. Ever notice how fire needs oxygen? Arguments, when Stoic style, become growth accelerators, but only if you prep ahead. Remember those emotional checkpoints. Pro tip, when tension spikes, tap your anchor, that shared object from earlier, and ask, is this about the nail or the house? Most fights are hammers, missing the right target. The cost of ignoring this? Slow emotional drift, like watching a sunset that's already gone dark. But here's your hack. Next conflict, pause and whisper, this is my training. Boom, instant perspective shift from why me to better me. Remember that perspective shift from why me to better me. Let's see it in action. Meet Sarah and Tom, married 12 years, stuck in the silent treatment loop. Then they discovered Stoic journaling. Every night, instead of rehashing arguments, they'd write, what did I control today? Where did I react poorly? Within weeks, their fights became discussions. Here's how it worked. First, they identified their emotional triggers. Sarah hated messy counters. Tom felt ignored during sports talks. Then, they created a virtue reminder, a bracelet they'd touch when sensing rage. Simple? Yes. Game-changing? Absolutely. The real magic? They stopped keeping score. Epictetus said, it's not what happens, but how you take it. One rainy Tuesday, their car broke down. Old them, blame game, knew them. High-fived and turned it into a coffee date while waiting for the tow truck. That's the Stoic transformation. Not avoiding storms, but learning to dance in the rain together. Now here is what separates couples who try Stoicism from those who live it. They don't just read Marcus Aurelius. They ask, what would love choose right now? And that question, that's where ordinary marriages become extraordinary. So here is the Stoic marriage upgrade in a nutshell. It is not about avoiding conflict, but transforming it into growth. It's not about owning your partner, but stewarding your love. And it's not about winning arguments, but dancing through them together. Now, let's turn this wisdom into action, because Stoicism without practice is just philosophy collecting dust. Your first exercise. Tonight, when the dishes pile up or the toothpaste cap goes missing, pause and ask, what would love choose now? That simple question is your gateway from reactive frustration to proactive virtue. Imagine looking back a year from now at every moment you chose love over ego, how much richer, deeper, and more resilient your marriage would be. That future starts today. Click subscribe now because next week we're revealing the 5-second Stoic ritual that saved over 200 marriages in our community, including couples on the brink of divorce. But here's the catch. This only works if you apply it. So comment "Love chooses" below if you're ready to take the challenge. The first 50 responders will get our exclusive Stoic Marriage Journal template free. And if this video helped you see marriage differently, pay it forward. Hit like and share it with one couple who needs this perspective. Remember, the Stoics didn't just study virtue, they lived it daily. Your marriage isn't a contract. It's your masterpiece in progress. Now go build something beautiful.